Hello friends, welcome to this course on NX. In this lecture, we will know about pattern feature. Pattern is used to create multiple copies of a single geometry. You can find the pattern command here. Go to this feature tab and you can find pattern feature here. In this pattern, we have multiple types of pattern. So if I go to the layout option, we can see we have linear, circular, polygon, spiral, along, general, reference, etc. So we are going to learn about them one by one. So I click cancel. So go to file and click on open. From your project file, go to the folder of pattern and open up this file, that is linear pattern. Select this file and click open. Now inside this file, we can see we have created two extrude. That is extrude 1, that is of a plate, and we have extrude 2. And now we are going to make the pattern of them. To create the pattern, so go to the pattern option. In the layout, I am going to select linear option. So select linear layout. Now first it is asking us to feature to pattern. We need to select the feature which we want to create the pattern. So I want to create the pattern of this extrude 2. Select the extrude 2 from here, that is extrude 2. And now we need to select the direction. So click for the specify direction. For this direction we need to specify a vector. Now for this vector, let's say I specify this edge as a direction. So this edge is the direction vector. So edge of extrude 1. Now this direction is going in the leftward. So we need to reverse the direction. So click on reverse direction. And now this pattern is going in the rightward direction. After that we need to specify these parameters. First thing, it is showing spacing. Now for this spacing we have multiple options like count and pitch, count and span, pitch and span. So count means number of pattern we want to create. Pitch is the distance between each pattern. And span is the total length of this edge. Or we can say it is the total length of the pattern. So let's say I select the first option, count and pitch. Now we need to specify the number of count. So let's say I specify this number of count is 5. And then we need to specify the distance. So let's say this distance is 30. I'm taking some random values. Okay, so we can see the preview of this pattern here. Now let's increase this value. So let's say this value is 50. Now we have a better preview of the pattern. In this way we have specified the parameters. All the options remain as default and I click OK. And now we can see the pattern has been created. We can also create the pattern in other direction also. So go to this model tree, right click and go to edit parameters. Also we can make double click on this pattern feature here. Here we can see one more option that is called direction 2. So we can specify 2 direction to create the pattern. So I make a check on this direction 2. If I make a check on this symmetric option, it will create this symmetric pattern in both directions. But we can also specify the direction and number of pattern we want. So for the direction 2, let's say I select this edge. So zoom in here and I select this edge. So all the pattern will go in that direction. Then once again count and pitch. So specify the count, let's say this is 3. Distance, this is 30. Okay, let's say this is 35 to have a better view. Now we can see the preview of the small cubes. It means these are specifying the location of pattern. Now just click OK. In this way we can see we have created pattern in 2 directions. Now if I go to this pattern once again, double click on this. Here you can see some more options. So I make a uncheck on this direction 2. And you will see the option of count and span. When I select this option of count and span, it will select the complete value of the length. So number of count is 5 and total distance from first pattern to the last pattern, it is taking a distance that is 200. Click OK. Similarly, for the third type, we can specify pitch and span. So pitch means the distance between each pattern and span is the complete length. So these are all the parameters to define the pattern. So let's say I select this option of count and pitch, and now sometimes it may happen that we don't want some of the pattern. Now to do this, what I can do is take the mouse onto the screen, go to the small cubes that are highlighting, it is specifying the location, so I make a right click here. And here we can see we have option of suppress. Suppress means temporary delete. Here we can see option of delete. It is permanent delete and we can clock and unclock this. And specify variance. So we will cover this variance after that. So here we can delete or suppress it. So click outside here and I can click OK. Now we can make some more changes into the patterns. So let's say I want to change the parameter of this pattern, that is extrude 2, and I want some different types of pattern on the other side. So for this I can go to this pattern and here I can go to this option of pattern increment. Okay, so click on this pattern increment. Now inside this pattern increment we have these parameters for the extrude 2 and direction 1 offset. Now for the extrude 2, the extrude height is defined by this end limit. The end limit defines the height of extrude. So what I can do is I can make a right click and click on add to direction 1. Now this height of the extrude has been added to the increment. So let's say I want increment of 5. Press enter. So here it is showing in the end limit the increment is 5. So let's see the difference. Click OK. And then click OK once again. Now we can see from this view, with each pattern the height is increasing. And the height is increasing by the parameters of 5. So here this extrude has some height. In the next, height is increased by 5 each time. We can also make the changes similarly into this gap between these patterns. So double click on this, go to pattern increment, and here we can see direction 1. So direction means it is related to the patterns. So direction is specifying the gap between them. In this way we can also increase or decrease the gap between them. So let's say I make a right click and add to direction 1. Give it some increment. So let's say this increment is 5. Okay, it may go outside this object. Let's click OK. And now we can see with each pattern the distance between them is also increasing. So in this way we can use this increment option. Similarly, if we insert the negative value, we can also specify the decrement factor. So double click on this pattern. When I go to the settings, we have some more options like orientation. So we will cover this later. And here we can see in the pattern method, we will see two options, variational and simple. Whenever we have any kind of edge blend or draft or any small feature, the variational method will consider that. Now to understand this, I cancel it. Cancel this pattern, right click and delete. Let's say I insert an edge blend. Go to edge blend and then select this edge. Give it some radius. So let's say this value is 5 and click OK. After that, create the pattern of it. So go to pattern feature and here we need to select linear. Pattern to create, that is this pattern. Select both and then specify this vector, reverse the direction So I can click OK. So when I select this variational method here, it will consider the effect of this edge blend. Now I go to pattern once again, double click, and in the method select simple. So here it is showing the error. It means edge blend cannot be patterned. So it cannot pattern the blend. So it will only create the blend of this type of object. So that is the difference between this simple and variational option.